So quick walk to our materials. I'm gonna use Archie's watercolor paper. I'm gonna use the rough paper, just half piece, so like A5. Then I have different brushes here from number 0 to 14. They're all round brushes. The ones that I love the most is when they are really pointed, so you can actually draw a very tiny line, or you can really paint a big space. I have my Van Gogh watercolor, but you can just use whatever watercolor you like. Let me just position it so we can see it. You can definitely see, let me turn it, that I didn't clean it because I really like to use these leftovers here. And of course I have the clean part on the other side where I can just mix new colors. You can definitely clean your palette every time after you paint, it's totally up to you. I have my water. I have 2 jars of water for cool and warm colors, and of course some paper towel or just a towel that you can clear your brush. For today's video I'm gonna draw a cute Dutch house. So I have printed this photo on an A4 size, so it's a bit bigger, and then we can see some more details, but I'm gonna paint it smaller, so like this big here. So this is gonna be my reference. I'm gonna sketch a little bit and then paint. If you want, you can print your photo on an actual size and then copy it. You can use these light boards and just put it over, and then with the bright light you can see through the paper. And then with your pencil you just take the outlines and then you color it. I'm not gonna do this, I'm just gonna sketch by myself, just checking the reference here, taking some proportions, and then paint it. So yes, if I missed any material, we're gonna discuss it through the video. And the first is the pencil. You can also use watercolor pencil, so when you start painting you will not see pencil below, because when it's watercolor it will bleed in your painting. But you can also use just a normal pencil, which I'm gonna do now. So we can see that our house is like almost a square, but not really. So let's say somewhere here I'm gonna leave the same amount of space on both sides, so something like this. And then we remember that the width is almost, let's say something like this. So if this is the bottom, then yeah, this kind of thing. Then let me show you, we have the roof and we see it in a perspective because it's going backwards. So somewhere here we can see also, we can measure quickly if the roof is exactly the same. So yeah, almost. Let's say somewhere here is our roof, and then we have on both sides the same. Then we can see that we have some kind of a board like this, and we also have a board here. And I'm not gonna draw these ones in perspective, but just in the front, so they are symmetrical. So I'm gonna just draw these rectangles, and then we can see that we have some kind of a nice small flat roof on top of it, and then the window inside is just divided by 3 by 3. And even if it's not exactly the same, that's totally fine, at least for me, because in the end it's about to enjoy the whole process. Then we have 2 windows. So let's say we have the door. We can see that it's almost aligned with this one. And then we have these 2 windows on the left side, and we see that we have less space on the top than on the bottom, so something like this. Okay, and then they are also divided 3 by 3. It has the white frame, which we can definitely make afterwards. Okay, the door also has a white frame, and it has some white decorations. So yeah, we don't see everything, but I believe it's also kind of a almost symmetrical, the bottom part and the top. Then we have an extra board here that I'm gonna make with this small vertical black construction things. Not gonna go into detail. Then we have a nice footpath here in the front, like this, with some height. And then just left from the door we have a nice footpath going this way, and like this. And I believe actually this footpath is not until the end, so maybe it's until here, and then we have some bushes and some flowers coming to the front with this green grass, and also same here. I'm not gonna go into the details, but we just want to keep it as much as similar. We have this kind of a tree here, super nice. And sometimes we see the branches. And I think that's it. I'm gonna use eraser to clean a little bit these lines and then start painting. Okay, I think now we can just start. I'm gonna use round brush number 6. I will put a little bit of water. Let me just grab like this to activate my watercolor. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use all the colors, but I will put water to all of them. So in case I want to use any of them, then they will be ready. Okay, so I have this super nice small palette here to mix some new colors, and I will start with the roof, but then I also need a very light color because I'm gonna add extra layers on top of it. And then I don't want to start with very dark colors from the beginning. So for this, I will just add extra water to the mix I have here and put it on the roof. Even if you don't like the color from the real beginning, don't be worried because we will add extra layers and then it will definitely change. Okay, where we have the tree, I think I will just leave it empty because after that, when I add extra green on top of the orange, I might activate the orange, which is not such a bad idea, but I just want to leave it like this. Then I will do the facade here. For this we need some kind of light brown ochre color. And I think I'm gonna just add some white to make it extra pastel. And a little bit beige color, I think. Then I will add extra water. To spread it around, so you will have these tones. Like sometimes it will be darker and sometimes it will be lighter. Okay. Like this. It looks a bit more yellow than I wanted, but that's okay because we can add different details and then it will start looking as we like it. Then I will just grab a bit more of this white and mix here these colors with some white, and I will use this for our path. And make sure that when you're painting one piece next to the other, that the first one is totally dry, otherwise your paint will bleed, or you just make sure you don't touch it. Okay, I really like that we mix these two colors to get the third one, then the whole painting works together. Okay, I'm gonna wait a little bit for it to dry and then continue with the details. Okay, I will grab thinner brush, so I have here round brush number 1, but you can use any brush you have. Number 0 or 2 will be probably too big already, or maybe it will be fine. We can also try. I have also number 2, so we can probably grab some of this gray and reuse it here with our red, like this, to add some shadows. As a second layer. Like this. Maybe also here, here on the bottom. Okay, and I will grab again from this gray to create a darker color for the facade. So here, of course, under the roof, and this and this. Like this. Okay, and if you don't know where to add shadows, it's always on the bottom of the object. And if you have on the side, you just keep same side all the time. And I think we have also here some shadow, which I'm gonna just spread it out like this. And maybe also this is in the shadow. Okay, I just put too much of pigment here, but it's okay. I will fix it with some grass. Okay. We wait for it to dry. Then I'm gonna add with the smaller brush. I will add some detail, but then I need a bit darker color. So I'm adding more of the pigment, like this, to create the darker one. And then I just put some lines, maybe a bit more dark gray. Okay. And just put it on the top, and we see there is some kind of a shapes from the roof tiles that are just going up like this. And then we make the whole roof. You don't have to keep it all the same, or you can always just skip something or do the full line, or sometimes you skip and just do a few of these, or even you can skip a full area. I will make this one a full row, and I'm gonna add a few of these vertical lines. To give the idea of the shape. You can improvise with this. You can also make it super realistic and go for all of them. Or just leave it simple. We can add some different shades, and sometimes just paint a little bit more. So you will have different nuances from darker and light. And then you can also add some white to create a bigger contrast. Like this. Maybe I will just add some extra shades with just spreading the paint like this. We can do the same with the facade, but then I'm making this darker color, and we just have these horizontal bricks. I'm also adding different nuances in the shadow itself, so it will create this thickness for all the elements, that some of them are more in the front and some of them are more in the back. You don't have to draw all of the bricks, because then it will be probably too much. I will will add here some extra shadows, and then I will continue with the bricks. We see that there's some kind of a shadow here on the bottom. Which I'm gonna create with some paint and then with the water. So it will spread to the top, not to the top, but going up. And the nice thing is that when you use a small brush, then you can control very easy. This water. Then I'm gonna put different, it's the same yellow but then lighter. And in the end, maybe also from this color, which is not very visible actually, but it will still create some deepness. Okay, then I will take some of our indigo here for our windows. I think it's a bit green, very dark green. I will mix here some of this green, but then with more water, so I will have a lighter version that I will start with. Okay, and then I will just make the windows. I will leave some space for these white frames that we were talking about. And when the first layer is dry, then I will add darker colors, and then it will create the shadows, and it will really look like a real house. We do the same here. Keep in mind that when you use the rough paper, you need more water to your paint. For the details of the door, you can also use a jelly pen in the end, or you can just go around like this and leave the white spots just white. Okay, I will grab some of this very dark green here to make the outlines here of these flat roofs for windows. Like this. Okay, now you can see that we have differentiations in our greens, which creates, it just gives you the feeling that our painting is not flat. Which we can do also in the roof and everywhere. And we can use exactly the same dark color for this and not different ones. This will keep our painting just complete. We add extra details. Like this. Then I can add some darker color here. You try not to cover the whole green, but just to add extra line there. This will give this extra deepness for the painting. This. And same with the door. Just very tiny lines. Like this. And sometimes you can just add extra water to spread around some of the paint. And if you like to have more contrast, then you add even extra darker colors or some white. Then the next I want to do is to add some shadows here with this darker color. Not everywhere, but just some of them, like this. And I want just to add an extra line on the sides, but very thin and light. Okay, I want to have this very light gray. So I'll add extra water to this color and just add some gray here and sometimes here. You can create and go into the details like forever. So try to not focus too much. At some point you just have to stop. So I think I will add some gray here for the windows, for the glass. Just very rough. Okay, I will add a few lines for the pavement. So here we see that for this part they are kind of a squarish. I'm not gonna add all of them, but just a few, and try to keep the perspective going to one point in the back, like this. Then we see shadow here, and then I will grab some of this brownish to just add a few lines here. They become bigger when they are closer to us, and then a few lines to this in this direction, and I like it like this. I will grab number 2 to make the tree. Few branches. I will not focus too much on this tree, but I just want to add some extra fresh colors. Okay, here we created a few tones of all green, and I'm gonna add some green, and then with some water I will spread it around to paint the first layer. So it's not super dark. Okay, like this. Then I will wait for it to dry before I put the other details. I will add some extra green here. Some water. To just spread it around. Okay, same on the other side. You can grab a bigger brush if you want. I just feel comfortable with the small one. But you can see what's gonna be the difference. If we grab a bigger brush, then you do it faster. I will not try to make a very nice grass, but you know, just some green. You grab some more to put on the corners to create this kind of a shadow and leave it to spread around. And some greenery like this, so here. And maybe something here. And we will add darker tones in a minute. Okay. A bit more on the other side. And we don't want to just focus on the greenery. It's more that it will give a small finish. We can even make a few some sky, just not everywhere, but like this. You let it spread around and just wrap the house. Also around the tree a little bit. Behind the tree as well. Maybe a bit here. You don't have to cover the whole house with the sky, but just here and there to create a nice mood. I keep the darkest blue around the house, so this will really focus the view on the house. Okay, and I will go back one more time on the tree to just add more detail or just extra shadow. Like this. And same with the greenery here. Just here and there, I put extra dark. To separate the bushes from the grass, you just need darker green. That's all. And you don't have to make it perfect, but just like this, a little bit of shadow. And then we spread it around. Like this. And I think I like it. You can keep going for sure, but don't overdo it. I think this is my house. I love it and I like it. So let me know in the comments if you also enjoy these kind of paintings, and share your work with me here or on Instagram. Tag me, and always if you have questions, you know where to find me.